Good morning, Mr. Secretary. I was encouraged to hear you say in the opening that your greatest concern is the reliability and resilience of the electrical grid. And I am very concerned about the challenges that the nuclear plants in my state of Pennsylvania now face. We have thousands of hardworking men and women who work at these plants every day, and they work hard to ensure that we have the reliable source of energy, the carbon-free source of energy provided by these nuclear plants. You also noted the concerns of cyber attacks and cyber threats to the grid, and I know that some of these nuclear plants like Beaver Valley, which is close to where I live, are almost completely independent of the internet. I mean, the control room is amazing. It's a large analog operation that would be resilient and reliable in the event of a cyber attack on the rest of our grid. So I know that your agency is considering the 202C request from First Energy related to baseload capacity. I'm not going to ask you to weigh in on that this morning. I saw your comments that 202C may not be the way we decide is the most appropriate or the most efficient way to address this, and you seem to believe that there are other options for the nuclear plants, especially besides 202C. So I was hoping you could fill us in. What do you see as other options on this issue?
Well, I'm looking for a solution. I'm looking for results. Process kind of wears me out from time to time, and my point is, the 202C is an economic issue. I mean that's approaching this from an economic standpoint, and I think it's really important for us as a country to look at this for what you and I think understand it to really be about. And it's about the national security of our country, of keeping our plants, all of them, online, being able to deliver energy, no matter whether it's a natural disaster that we might see from a polar vortex, or it's something more nefarious as a cyber attack from a terrorist state or some entity with bad intent for the United States. So we're looking at a number of ways to approach this. I know that the Defense Production Act is one of those ways to address that we're looking at very closely as well. So having resiliency and reliability in our grid is as important to our national security as anything that I can think of. And making sure that the plants that we have today supported reliably with the fuel, and obviously nuclear is one of those, and there are coal plants out there that fit into that. I might just make the statement of fact that by 2040, the world will still be reliant upon 77% of fossil fuels of driving that energy that's being produced.
And I've seen that as well, Mr. Secretary. So I just want you to know that you have a partner here in trying to find other solutions on this issue. I will be happy to help in any way, and my staff will certainly reach out. Along that line, we have seen states pass some legislation to try to address this issue and to try to correct some of the market failures, especially for nuclear plants. Do you support the efforts of states like New Jersey and Illinois and New York that have taken on this issue and tried to develop their own solutions to correct some of these failures?
Yeah. Well, I wrote a book about the 10th Amendment, so I would be pretty hard-pressed for me to not say that I don't believe that states have a very important role. I think there is another issue that's a side issue, but directly to this. Do states have the right to block a pipeline across their state that will have a national security implication or an economic implication on individuals? So that's a whole other issue, but it's one I hope you and I can continue to have a conversation on. The fight there will be the state's sovereign ability to make a decision versus the national security of this country.
Thank you.